I got an email the other day asking, Coach, what are the best sets and reps for football players? And in this video, we're going to talk about exactly that. What are the best sets and rep ranges for football players? So first and foremost, when we're training football players, or really just about any athlete, the three qualities that we're trying to develop are speed, strength, and size. And when I say speed, I don't necessarily mean your 40 time, I mean speed of muscle contraction. So you can also think of that as power. And then we've got strength, which is pretty self-explanatory, and then size, which you could interchange with hypertrophy, but basically we're talking about building muscle mass. And then the three rep ranges that a lot of you are probably already going to be familiar with are 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and 7 to 10. So let's look at optimal sets, optimal rep ranges, all right, for how these rep ranges affect the development of these three traits that we're trying to develop with our football players. So 1 to 3 reps when it comes to, again, speed of muscle contraction, power, that is going to be our optimal range, all right, for developing that trait. So we're going to go arrow straight up on the board. When it comes to strength in this rep range, all right, again, we're going to go arrow straight up for an optimal range for developing strength. Now, when it comes to size, all right, or hypertrophy, we're going to go arrow out to the side. So that's neutral. So you're not necessarily going to build hypertrophy training in that rep range, but you're not going to lose muscle mass either. All right, so we're just going to go arrow neutral straight out to the side. All right, now, really quick, a lot of this information I learned from legendary strength coach Johnny Parker. If you're not familiar with Johnny Parker, I'm going to leave a link in the description to the book that he co-authored called The System. Highly, highly recommend. It's packed with just a ton of information in it. So now, let's look at 4 to 6. So when it comes to training in this rep range, when it comes to developing power, we're going to go arrow up, but not straight up. So we're going to go arrow up, but just a little bit off to the side. So it's going to positively develop, all right, this trait, but not necessarily going to be the optimal range for it. Okay, so now let's look at strength in the 4 to 6 range. So again, we're going to go arrow up and slightly out to the side. All right, now I know some of you are already looking at this and scoffing because we kind of get shoved down our throat a little bit. All right, that 4 to 6 range is where we develop strength. But I'm going to circle back to that in just a minute. So I'm going to come back to that. So now 4 to 6 when it comes to developing muscle mass, developing size. Again, we're going to go arrow up and slightly out to the side, okay? So for that 4 to 6 range, it's going to positively benefit the three traits that we're trying to develop with our football players, but it's not necessarily the optimal range for any of the three, all right? So now, finally, let's go into the 7 to 10 plus. So when it comes to power development, this is actually going to be arrow down. All right, this is actually going to have a negative impact on your power development with your football players. All right, now with strength is also going to be arrow down. All right, so now having said that, if you've got beginners, if you've got freshmen in your weight room, whether they're high school freshmen, whether they're college freshmen, a lot of those guys you can put on any rep range and they are going to get stronger. So you can put them on 3 sets of 10, 4 sets of 10 as you're building that foundation, building that base. They are going to get stronger, but I'm talking about more of your higher level athletes, okay? So now 7 to 10, when it comes to building hypertrophy, all right, that is your ideal range, all right, for building hypertrophy is that 7 to 10, okay? So now, let's circle back really quick and let's talk about this 4 to 6 range when it comes to strength. I know that a lot of us are told if you want to develop power, it's 1 to 3, strength is 4 to 6, size is 7 to 10, okay? So let's talk about this and as it relates to here, all right? So your 5x5 workout, which is kind of your prototypical strength set and rep range, all right? In actuality, if you have to look at your total volume of work sets, your total volume of work reps, all right? So if you take a given exercise in a given day, you need 10 to 12 reps to have a minimum threshold to have a training stimulus, a training effect from that exercise. On the opposite end of that, you want to stay 35 reps or under. If you go over 35 reps of an exercise in a workout, then you run the risk of running into overtraining. So we're looking at anywhere from 10 to 12 up to about 35. Now, if you go 9 sets of 3, you can develop more strength than if you went 5 sets of 5. Now, the reason why a lot of us lean towards that 5 sets of 5-ish type rep range when it comes to building strength is because if you work in a team setting, if you work at a school, if you work at a college, logistically, we're all going to be constrained by time. And 9 sets of 3 is going to take a heck of a lot longer than 5 sets of 5. And when I'm saying 5 sets of 5, 9 sets of 3, I'm talking about your big core exercise. I'm talking about your cleans, your bench press, your squats, your big core movements, okay? And if all of a sudden you've got 2 or 3 of those in a day, and we're talking about doing 9 sets of 3 across the board, that is going to take a whole lot of time, which is why a lot of us will lean in to that 5 sets of 5 just because it's a little more efficient and it's still going to have a really positive effect on our strength numbers, okay? So overall, we want to be in that range right there. We want to be in that 1 to 6 rep range with all of our big core movements, all right? Now, exactly how many reps we're doing and the intensities that we're doing, that's a topic for another video, to getting into periodization and the different kinds and different forms of periodization. If you'd like to see more on that, leave me a comment below, and I'll come back around and I'll do another video on some periodization foundations. But we want to stay in this rep range right here. All right, now, what about this 7 to 10? Is there a time and a place where we want to utilize that 7 to 10 range? Absolutely yes, okay? The one spot that we can do it is with our supplemental work, all right? So our lat pull downs, our tricep push downs, things of that nature. That is a great spot at the back end of the workouts once you've already done your core movements to work in those higher rep ranges that we can build a little bit of size at the back end of our lifts. Also, when it comes to football players, where it can be beneficial is if you have linemen that really need to, their number one focus is to develop more muscle mass. They need to develop more size. So on the collegiate level, if we have an offensive lineman come in at 260, 270, and their number one priority straight off the bat is, hey, we've got to get some more size on this guy. We'll delve into these 7 to 10s to try to put that size on them as quickly as we can. And then once we've built that base and got them physically where they need to be, then we'll kind of venture back into that 1 to 6 range. So I hope this helped as far as figuring out sets and rep ranges that are ideal for football players. Thanks for watching.